What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, you watching a Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. Last Thursday, I watched American Sniper. And American Sniper will be the very first film that I will be reviewing for you guys in 2015. It actually came out in 2014. It was first screened at the American Film Institute Festival of 2014. And it also had a limited theatrical release in the US on December 25th of last year. But its official wide release is actually January 16th. Therefore, I'm counting it as a 2015 release. Alright, so American Sniper, I first saw the trailer back in fall, and it got me really pumped. It looked really, really intense. That teaser where you see Bradley Cooper, where he has to decide whether or not he's going to shoot the kid. And that was what sold me. From that point on, I was sold, and I was really, really anxious to watch this film. Finally, the film is here, and wow! Director Clint Eastwood has brought us another great film in the American, I guess the military thriller genre. And now this one's based off a true story. This is actually, I would call this the biopic, or rather the true story of U.S. Navy SEAL Chris Kyle. So this is the story about Chris Kyle. Bradley Cooper plays Chris Kyle, and Sienna Miller plays his wife. All right? And really, this is his story. There's not much more to tell other than that about the story, other than the fact that it is his story. Bradley Cooper, or rather Chris Kyle, joins the Navy SEALs. He joins the Navy SEALs, and then he becomes the most lethal sniper in American history. And that's a pretty bold title. You know what I'm saying? But when you really think about it, the sniper with the most confirmed kills is actually the most deadliest sniper in U.S. history, and that would be Chris Kyle. Now, one thing that I love about this movie is that this is a film that shows us both sides of the war. Now, there are always two sides of the war. Of course, we always think about as, you know, the good guys and the bad guys. I'm talking about the other side. I'm talking about over there and back home. These are the two sides I'm talking about. Now, in a lot of military dramas or military thrillers, you only really see the one side, and that is the good guys and a little bit of the bad guys. But in this film, it's not about good guy versus bad guy. In American Sniper, the true enemy is war itself, because war does bad things to very good people. And Bradley Cooper, or rather Chris Kyle, is a great person. As a matter of fact, he is a hero. But once you're a hero, a lot of things can happen, good and bad. For example, a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy. People want to kill you. People want to praise you. And there's people who need you. So there's his buddies in the military who need him. But another really important thing, another important aspect of his life that needs him is his family. But this movie is really about decisions. This movie is about, what does he do? He's constantly making decisions, and those decisions could really take away his pride, and take away I guess who he really is, his identity. All right. Over there, by over there I mean over in the war, he's seen as a hero. Over back at home, he's seen as a husband and a father. All right, so what is his real identity? Who does he want to be? He can't be both, and that is the big war that is going on. There's a war going on back at home because it's a very emotional war. All right, and there's a war over there because it is, this is the war that he has to fight for his country, defending his country, and his, the Navy bred him to be a killing machine. All right, but where does he end up being? This is a very conflicted hero. It's a story about a very conflicted hero, and I think that is what makes this movie great. It really shows us the human side of the war. And we're seeing it through the perspective of Chris Kyle and, of course, his wife. And this is something that we don't see a whole lot of. And I really feel that director Clint Eastwood, really brought us a very significant piece of American cinema. This story is very, 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 very engaging. All the action scenes are entertaining and very exciting and really, really intense. But all of the moments of drama are very, very engaging. Because this is the side of the story which we don't get to see a whole lot of. And when we do see it, we are really invested into the deeper part of the Chris Kyle character, and that is what's going on inside, what's going on up here. It's a very, very psychological story, and he goes through a lot psychologically, both back at home and over there. He's lost his guys, and he's also possibly going to lose his family if he doesn't come back home. So he is faced with a lot of decisions, and we get to see that, and as an audience, you are engaged 100% because what he does will affect everything. All right, especially since he is so highly regarded in the military. So I really, really enjoyed this movie, and a huge part of it had to do not only with Clint Eastwood's superb direction, but also Bradley Cooper's outstanding performance. This is probably, or you know what, I'm going to go ahead and say it, and this is Bradley Cooper's best performance to date. What a fantastic performance he put on. He was completely believable, both in his acting and also physically. He looked the part. And I don't think you can get any other actor to portray Chris Kyle better than Bradley Cooper. He nailed it, okay? And as for Clint Eastwood, he nailed the directing. I was actually quite surprised at the direction. It went back and forth. Chris Kyle goes on 4 tours. That's 1,000 days of service. But in between tours, he comes back home. And we get an equal balance of the battle back home and a battle over there. And I actually think that even though some people might think that, you know, they don't like the fact that it goes back and forth and there's not enough action, I actually feel that both parts are really quite important to tell the story. It is really important because a huge part of what keeps him alive is his family. He wants to come back home. He wants to make it. He wants to be alive back to see his kids and his wife, but he also needs to be alive for his comrades because they all look up to him. So he's a very, very important person in the war. He's one of those key contributing factors that made this story the great story that it is today. Now this movie, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Now, it would be a perfect film, like a 10 out of 10, in my opinion, had they done something about the climactic battle in the end. Now, I'm not going to say too much about it. All I got to say is that it should be a sniper battle, okay? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't have been totally like, I guess it shouldn't have gone in the direction of standard action fare. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps that's what happened. In fact, maybe that's what really happened. But I would have liked the emphasis of the final battle to be more focused on Chris Kyle as opposed to everybody. Okay, his entire platoon. All right, or his squad rather. All right, and that's just my personal opinion. I just felt that we were so invested in this character so much. That it would be great to see, let's just call it, you know how in Enemy at the Gates it was Jude Law versus Ed Harris? Well, I would have liked to see that a little bit more in this movie. All right, but other than that, you know what? That's a very small nitpicky thing about the movie. I give this movie a 9 out of 10 just because it is absolutely superb. It is a movie that you must see, especially if you're a military buff and you really, really want to see some great American cinema. This would be it right here. Now, of course, this isn't for the faint of heart. It is a R-rated military thriller, so there are some, pretty, gory scenes of violence. It is war. War is hell. War is horror. War is horrible. But I don't think this is a movie that's about that, okay? This movie is about a man and his personal decisions, all right? It's a story about a man and his decisions. But I don't think this movie is really about the hells of war, okay? So there you have it. That's all I got to say in this video. I give this movie a 9 out of 10, and what a great way to start off 2015. And we're going to start off with a bang. There's a lot of great sniper films out there. For example, Shooter, Enemy at the Gates, and of course there's a bunch of other sniper films, but I gotta say that this film, American Sniper, is the definitive sniper film. I mean, I'm talking about in the sniper subgenre of action films, all right? So there you have it. Hats off to Clint Eastwood for yet another great job, and I can't wait to see what else he directs next. Bradley Cooper deserves that Oscar. Anyways, that's all I got to say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, @RaginNation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. IP, you know, things like that, all right? That's stuff I can relate to because this stuff is what people do today to get a Netflix account, or rather